our personal liberties. I happen to think the enforcement of the income tax is deeply flawed because it's based on the assumption that if the tax people ever charge you for anything, you're guilty until proven innocent. That's not the way it's supposed to be. They're supposed to prove our guilt instead of saying you are guilty, you prove your innocence, or you will have to suffer the consequences. But we also have another war that's going on. Basically, all wars are against the American people. War overseas is an economic detriment, and it sets the stage for a violation of our civil liberties. But there's been another war going on. It was started back at the time income tax and Federal Reserve came in, but not very much. It was accelerated in the early 1970s under Nixon, and that is the war on drugs. But that's a war on the American people. Attitude that the government has is responsible to be so much involved that it means that they pass laws like as a consequence of the drug laws that American people can't grow hemp. You know, hemp is a really dangerous product. Did you know that? It's probably dangerous to some of my cotton growers down in Texas. It might be when it's dangerous, but. But hemp is a product that has been around since the beginning of our country, and we used it in World War II. But because the plant looks like marijuana, therefore you can't grow it, and it just makes no sense. Then once the government decides that they can tell you what you can put in your own body, means you don't own your own body. So you say, some might argue and say, well, it's necessary. There's a bunch of junk out there. Yeah. Junk food stores maybe too. Of course, then you say that and they'll run and regulate everything that you take into your bodies. But taking it into our bodies, it should be our business. And if you harm your body, it should be your business too, and not your neighbor's business. You can't go crawling to your neighbor and say, well, I overdid it, so it can be taken care of. It will backfire on maybe nutritional products. Maybe the federal government will start regulating vitamins and nutritional products and alternative health care. Wow. So that is the natural consequence. You say, well, prevent the use of some of these bad drugs, and then you sacrifice our liberties. But, you know, if you look at the drugs are really bad. I'm annoyed, and hopefully, you know, teaching my patients and my family and all how deadly drugs are. But the people who die and are more addicted are prescription drugs. They're killing more people. Isn't the danger, the issue is who's responsible for the danger. Who's responsible for teaching children about fire and automobiles and heights and all these other things. It's us that's the responsibility, but assume that, oh, you know, the government is going to take care of us. If the government would just have tougher, stricter laws, my son would have never gone on drugs and these kind of arguments. But, you know, we've even gotten to the point where the government now, the federal government, is regulating drinking raw milk. If we are allowed to deal with our eternity and all that we believe in spiritually, and if we're allowed to read any book that we want under freedom of speech, why is it that we can't put into our bodies what we want? And if there are dangers out there, maybe we can take care of that. If you want to compare dangers, I mean, intellectually, I mean, just think of authoritarian fascism, communism, how many people did that kill, and how bad some of the silly things that people do in the name of religion. And then all of a sudden, they concentrate, we've given up this one element. The one problem we've had for 100 years or so, and the founders didn't have this problem,